drop, and lift, and in, and out, and drop, and lift, and in, and out, and drop. Pelvic floor, and in, and out, and drop. Pelvic floor, and in, and out, and drop, and lift, 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 and in, out, and drop. Come to all fours, same pattern. We're gonna lift and in and out and drop. Pelvic floor, belly in, belly out, and out. It's really tricky to not let out your pelvic floor at the same time as letting your Pilates scoop release. So that just takes practice because we have to first of all figure out what it feels like and then figure out how to do it. For a while it takes like all of your thought process. All right, we're gonna hold in and up, so lift and in. Your Pilates scoop is in. Now we're gonna do our pelvis. 12 and neutral and arch and neutral. And 12 o'clock and neutral and 6 o'clock and neutral. And 12 o'clock and neutral and 6 o'clock and neutral. 12 o'clock and neutral and 6 o'clock and neutral. And 12 o'clock and neutral. How's your Pilates scoop? How's your pelvic floor? All right, let's add all of those things together. So relax everything. Pelvic floor, Pilates scoop, shoulder blades spread nice and flat. 12, neutral, arch, neutral. Make sure your scoop and floor are still going. And we're going to stop in neutral spine. Recheck that Pilates scoop. We're going to do shoulder push-ups. Watch my shoulder blades right here. I'm going to let them come together. So gravity is making my chest drop through and my shoulder blades pinch together. And then I'm going to push them wide. My arms are staying straight the whole time. Shoulder blades are moving out and together. And out and together. I'm doing it on the floor, but if you need to do it on the wall, like if you have a shoulder injury or a wrist injury and you want to do it on the wall again, that's fine too. Good. Holding that position, let's take a look at our alignment. My hands on the floor, go ahead and press back for a second. And I want you to take your hands, bring your fingertips together, and then bring your fingertips down in towards your wrists. I sometimes call them judgy flamingos, right? That's your judgy flamingos. But if you're really squeezing together and down, you're gonna get a stretch on the back side of your wrist, which is where we often feel tired when we're on our hands. We wanna strengthen these muscles to make the back of our wrists not so tired, yeah? When we place our hands down in this class, we are always going to have our pointer fingers. Go ahead and point them up in the air. Woo-hoo. Pointer fingers forward and hands fanned out right underneath your shoulders, yeah? So elbows are between your shoulders and your wrists. Pointer fingers are forward. It looks like two right angles on the floor there. Spread out. Now, I'd like you to chicken wing your elbows with me for a second. And your bent elbows, I want you to wrap them inward, yeah? So we're never in this class gonna be elbows out. We're always gonna wrap them in. That will activate your pectoral muscles and your inner arms. And so we'll get more work on our triceps. Here we go. Micro bend those elbows, shoulder push-ups. Bend your elbows a little more, shoulder push-ups keep happening. Good. All right, we're gonna take your right leg and left arm, and we're gonna reach left arm straight out. We're gonna leave our toe on the floor on this side. Look underneath yourself. What I'd like you to see is that as we go into this, we're gonna alternate our arms and legs. that we are not tipping or twisting our pelvis. We want to keep the 4 points of our torso perfectly in line here for this exercise. Shoulder, shoulder, hip, hip. Should stay in a nice, even rectangle. Here we go. Setting all of that alignment up together. So pelvic floor in, Pilates scoop in, nice neutral flat back, even arms, elbows in, and we're going to take one leg out along the floor. Keep your toe touching because I don't want you to drop your back lifting that leg up. Look underneath yourself, hips are even. Come back down, super slow. I would like you to be able to balance a teacup of water on your lower back without sloshing any of the water around. Slow and steady. Leg and arm, go out, bring it back to the center. Nice and easy and slow because it's all about control of your abs in the center and down. Here we go. Make it even. If it's not yet, bring it back to the center. Sit back on your heels if you can. And we're going to go pelvic floor, belly in, release the belly, pelvic floor. Bring it up, belly in, release the belly, pelvic floor down. And up, belly in, stay there. Shoulders back. And we're going to give a hug and roll our pelvis back, opening up those thighs. I'd like you to squeeze your thighs towards each other. Take a moment here. If it feels like it's tight in the knees right now, you maybe maybe your body is like no on sitting on your heels, and that's okay. But if you can be back here but it just feels a little tight, give yourself a moment to stretch those thighs out. And as you're reaching back here and stretching your thighs, can you also be pulling your pelvic floor up and in and your belly in as well? And then I notice my thighs want to spread apart while I'm doing this. So I'm gonna gently pull my thighs to parallel, come back up. All right, scoot to the light a little bit more. We're gonna make that into a flow. Here we go, pelvic floor, stomach in, hug it, curve it back, 4. Rise up with your butt underneath. Yeah, the tricky part here is that everybody's butt wants to come up. Go ahead and sit your booty back for a moment. Pelvic floor up, tummy in. Now, if you rise up by sticking your booty out, we're gonna skip the feeling I want you to have. So pelvic floor up, tip it back to 12 o'clock. Put a little ribbon across your belly. I like to think of a piece of bacon. Skippier than a ribbon. Hug that space. I'm going to use my glutes under my butt to push my hips up, keeping them rocked back. Hug. 2. Dive through. 2. Find that flat back position, belly's in. Shift forward till you fall, hands, elbows in. Dive your nose, chin, chest. Lift it up. Modified plank, lower down. Here's the weird part. Instead of doing a push-up, I want you to push your arms forward. Like you're trying to scoot your mat out from underneath yourself. We're going to use that action to push yourself back to where you started. Push, stay low. Stay low. Stay low. Stay low. Big breath. Floor up, hollowed out. Tip it to 12 underneath yourself. And hug. Good, good. Dive through. Fall through. And nose, chin, chest. Press up. Lower down. Stay low. Go home. Good, good. Have a child's pose rest. So crawl your fingertips forward. Feel your armpits opening up. But also let your hips come back down to the floor. And some of us need to push to get their hips all the way back down to our heels. If you have a lot of quadriceps like I do, if you have a lot of thigh, you gotta push down to get that part of the stretch. So alternate between the two. Slide forward, open your armpits and your chest. That might bring your butt up in the air. And then push with your hands back and open up your lower back. If it feels good to rock a little side to side, take that moment. Find your breath. Draw your shoulders down your back. Lift your pelvic floor and your Pilates scoop. And we're going to come back up onto our buns. We're going to set up these legs. Yeah? Little fist between your knees. Oh, I love this song. But YouTube does not love it when I play this song. So we're going to have parallel legs in this class. And I like sometimes to really think about holding our knees together because it can activate your inner thighs. But it's not actually as even as parallel. So what I like to talk about is using an imaginary personal sized cheesecake. Yeah, you don't want to smash it, you don't want to drop it on the floor. But if you do have something around that's about the right size, this is kind of big, but sideways, it's maybe squishy enough pillow that you can squeeze. You can use that. You could use a roll of toilet paper, for example, or a roll of paper towels. So next time we'll try some props. But I wanted you to see, when I'm sitting on the floor, I'm going to be thinking about parallel legs, meaning my hip bones are going to line up with the tendon that comes down from the center of your kneecap. So go ahead and touch your kneecap for me. You can still be sitting on the floor at that part. But as you walk your fingertips around that round kneecap, you can feel that big tendon that sticks out the bottom. That tendon should be aligned up with your pointer finger toe. So not your big toe, but your second toe to the tendon, to the hip bone. And that's your parallel. While we do these next exercises, your legs are going to flop. Yeah, and it'll be your job to keep them parallel. All right, here we go. Arms are up softly. Personal sized cheesecake held gently between your knees. Big breath in. Exhale, lift your pelvic floor up. Pilates scoop in, and we're going to tip the pelvis back. It's going to go tip, 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 rise up. Tip, 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 rise up. We call these roll downs. And it's not about throwing your chest back at all. It's about tipping deeper into 12 o'clock, then up to neutral. And when you come up to neutral, you're going to be using your lower back as well as your hip flexors. Keeping that scoop in all the time. It's small. 2, 3. Watch your thighs. Look at how your legs have some little dance. We all have some little dance that we like to do here. My foot's doing a dance. Please ignore my foot cramp. I need some more water, y'all. All right, stay right there. I want you to imagine the cutest little fluffy animals that you like, or maybe you like a turtle. I'm going to say bunnies today. Pilates scoop in, and we're going to tip that pelvis back and pat those cute little bunnies. Good. Take a breath in. Come up. Lift your Pilates scoop and your pelvic floor. Hollow back down. Pat those little bellies. Turning your head side to side. Get your shoulders back. Pull your chin back. Tip a little lower. Good. Come back on up. We're going to stretch those legs out. Let's bend them first. Have a nice forward fold. Tapping your head. All right, lovely. Straight legs out. Take this moment to make sure you're parallel. Yeah, kneecaps, pointer finger toes. Turn to the front here. And I'm going to encourage you to lay down on your elbows. Yeah. We're going to bend one leg. Let's say it's your right leg bent, left leg straight. We're going to keep an eye on those hips. We're going to lift and lower. 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 And switch. Good. Keep it going. Another one of those songs that YouTube doesn't like me to play. much as I love it. Okay, back to the first leg, lift and lower. Now I want you to check in with yourself. Is your Pilates scoop in? Is your pelvic floor in? And is this leg locked straight? So normally we don't think about locking out your knees, but for this exercise I do want you to tighten that inner quadricep so that you're getting a medial quadricep workout as well, and you're flexing the foot so the foot's not relaxed or pointed, but instead you're pulling those toes towards your body, locking that knee out, straight knee lifts. If your belly's staying still, you can make it a little bigger. I don't know about you, but my leg wants to do a little twisty dance as I do this. Switch sides. I'm trying to keep it straight up and down. Focusing on your leg, keeping that smooth alignment. Good, good. Coming back down to the floor. Pilates scoop is in. We're going to press our shoulders into the mat for the next one. And then after pressing your shoulders down, also your elbows and your hands. So you have pressure from your whole arm going on. We're going to add that pelvic clock. 6, neutral, 12, neutral. 6, neutral, 12, neutral. Pressure in your back of your arms. And as you do 6, neutral, 12, neutral, the pressure underneath your body moves from 6 o'clock is your butt, 12 is the middle of your pelvis, or I'm sorry, neutral is the middle of your pelvis, and 12 o'clock your lower back is pressing into the mat. Neutral and 6, and neutral and 12, and neutral and 6, and we're gonna roll it up. We're pressing into our feet now, lifting the body up, peeling it off the mat. Here we go down. 2, 3, 4. Roll it out. 6 o'clock and neutral and 12. Press up. When you're at the top of this bridge here, can you check back in with your pelvic floor and your Pilates scoop? Sometimes when we come up, we sort of dump it all out and push. I want you to keep that in, hollowed up feeling as you're up here high, and put your back gently back down. Good, good, good. Taking your legs into your chest. Press them in for a moment, let them relax. We're going to take our right leg up and our left leg. And just having sort of a gentle awakening. Go ahead and walk on the moon here. Big breath in. Pelvic floor, Pilates scoop, ribs down, and then roll your head, neck, and shoulders up. And just however you want, we're going to play the celestial harp, as yoga instructor Shiva really likes to say. Just reaching, moving it around. Good. All right, pull those knees into the chest. Squish them down. Squish them down with your hands. Sorry, I'm adjusting my mic pack here. All right, there we go. And as you pull your thighs into your chest, feel your hips rock up and away from the floor. Yeah, so it's like an extreme 12 o'clock there. Yeah. Big breath in. Exhale, pelvic floor lifts. Pilates scoop in. Head, neck, and shoulders are going to come up. And you're holding yourself in a tiny, tiny, tiny little ball. Float your legs up. Tiny little ball. Hips are off the ground. And we're going to pat those little bunny rabbits again. Keeping it small and tight. These are your 100s. Keep the weight out of your hips. If you start to feel your hips falling back to the floor, bring those legs in tighter. Check your Pilates scoop. Lengthen the back of the neck. Look at your own belly button. And let it go. Good job, y'all. Shake out the stress in the neck. All right. Legs back up. We're gonna rock up to your balance point. Let's talk about it. Tippy, tippy, tippy tiptoes are off the ground. I am using my arms to hold my legs in, and they're gonna probably all sort of fall apart. But we want to use our core to tuck tight into this little ball. When I put my feet on the floor, then the sit bones, which are the part of your pelvis, that bony part of your pelvis that you feel when you sit down, handy that they're called sits. It was actually someone's name. The sits bones are going to be on the ground. That means I'm really sitting up tall. So with your bent legs, can you lean over the chest for a moment? Stretch out the back of your neck. And then come on up. Pull those shoulders around in a circle for me. And I would like you to place your hand right on your sternum. Yeah, so the bone in between the center of your chest. And we're going to curve the body back in the upper back. And then I'd like you to press that sternum all the way forward. And as you do this, you're going to pull your shoulder blades back into. So we're going to curve and arch. And curve like you're slouching, and then arch like you're sticking your chest out proudly. Curve. All right, we're going to really use that chest out feeling for rolling like a ball. So from our balance point, we're using that chest up to help keep ourselves up. Also, your back is helping you lift. When we roll like a ball, we're going to curl into that tiny little ball position we were just in by tipping the pelvis back, rolling to your shoulders, rolling back forward. And then how do you get up that last point? You go ding! You stick your chest out by pulling your shoulder blades back together. That ding is the thing that gets you back up to the top. It's also your brakes because we don't want to use our feet on the floor for rolling like a ball. You're going to curve, roll to the top of your shoulders, and rock back up and ding, not touch your feet to the ground. Let's try it. We're going curve, rock back, rocking forward, ding, curve, rock back. Try to rock evenly so you're not going wobble, wobble left to right. Some of us often get stuck on the bottom when we're first losing this. And it means that you've lost that curve in your lower back. So your lower back got flat, and that's why we roll like a square sometimes. So keep it curved, tuck, 12 o'clock, 12 o'clock, straight, breathe, rip. Good. That was called rolling like a ball. We're gonna send our feet out, rock our legs in circles. Yeah, so as I'm bringing my knees in, I'm flexing my feet. As I'm opening my thighs to the back, I'm going to extend them out. And again, I'm taking this time to find that position where I can sit on my sits bones. Let's all bend our knees, really bent, and kind of walk your hip bones, walk your sits bones side to side. Maybe walk your butt back until you can feel like you're leaning forward with your pelvis. And it's different than leaning forward with my chest, yeah? That would be like slouching zombie. I want you to feel what it feels like to walk your booty back, walk your hips back, so you can really feel those sits bones on the ground. From there, we're going to lift up our pelvic floor. We're going to pull our abdomen in. And you can see from the side that I really only have like a 90-degree angle between my legs. But when I face the front, it looks like I'm doing full splits. So I like to just let you know that's not true. Yeah, so bent knees. Your knees are pointed up to the ceiling. And we're going to hold ourselves in and up. This is already going to be a lot of work with these hip flexors. So anytime your hip flexors start to squeeze in this exercise, just shake your legs out. Just shake them side to side. So I'm rotating them in this socket, yeah? Sitting up nice and tall, shoulders back. We're going to use that proud torso that we had before. And I would like you to rotate your chest to face your right leg. So your belly button is trying to twist to your right leg. Your shoulders are facing. Your heart is facing this way, and then if I take my arms up to the side, my left arm is going to be over my left foot, yeah? Go ahead and take your arms back down, come back center. Try that twist to the other side. Belly button is now facing that side, shoulders are in line with the other side, and come back to center. Now we're going to turn this all into an exercise, and the tricky part really is, of course I'm going to say holding in your abdomen and pulling up your pelvic floor, but really the hardest part of this exercise is sitting up straight. So if I just keep talking like this and you're just sitting here and suddenly you start to feel a squeezing in here, ah, or you don't feel it, but instead you realize you're sort of falling backwards or slouching, here's where the work is. So before we do the saw in motion, let's just clarify that feeling. Soft knees, everybody, and we're gonna curve to ripple up and curve to use your lower back to stick your booty out. Curve and up is your Pilates scoop, staying in right there, and we're gonna twist. 2, 3, 4, and center. 2, 3, 4, and twist. 2, 3, 4, and center. 2, 3, twist. 2, 3, center. 2, 3, twist. 2, 3. Bring your hands down to your belly. The idea with these saws is that as we twist, your belly works sort of like you're wringing out a wet towel. It twists and goes smaller in the middle. So we don't want to be twisting and pushing out and trying to get our shoulder over farther than we can. Instead, I want you to keep your spine like a narwhal horn. Yes, spiraling straight up on top of yourself. Here we go. We're going twist. 2, 3, 4, and center. Shoulders stay back, bellies in, and twist. 2, 3, 4, and center. 2, 3, hands down. I'm going to now curve and sit up and twist and center. Repeat. We're gonna curve. 12 o'clock, upright and twist and center and curve and upright and twist and center. Last one and upright and twist and center and shake it out. Grab 2 handfuls of marshmallows and tap them into your hip flexors here. We're gonna lay on our stomachs now. In goes our, sideways is better to see. I'm gonna pull my legs all the way together. I'm gonna take a 3-second nap. Okay, good job, guys. Why do we take 3-second naps? Because we don't need to be carrying around lingering tension. All right, please place your hand on the small of your back here. We're gonna lift our pelvic floor in. We're gonna lift our Pilates scoop in, and then we're gonna change our lower back to go to 12 o'clock. Release the lower back, release the Pilates scoop, release the pelvic floor. Now your hand on your lower back is gonna tell you whether you're actually going to 12 o'clock in this position or not. And your hand should be lifted up by that action of sending your tailbone down to your feet. So just take your time there. You can put your forehead on the floor. Both hands back there, or just one, whatever works for you. Legs together. We're going to make that same pattern. We're going floor up, belly in. 12 o'clock. Release your back, release your belly, release your floor. Floor, belly, 12 o'clock. Relax and belly and floor. Floor, belly, pelvis to 12 o'clock and neutral. And belly and floor. Floor, Pilates scoop, 12 o'clock. Relax, relax, relax. Okay, last time we're going to hold it all in. Pelvic floor, Pilates scoop, long back. Stay right there. I'm going to start using my glutes a little bit more to help me really hollow up. And I want to feel like I can maybe move my shirt underneath the muscle wall here. There could be all kinds of flesh still touching the floor. That's fine. You just want to feel the wall of your abdominal muscles arching up away from the floor there. Okay? Holding on to that feeling, pull your legs back together. They probably snuck away. We're going to take our arms down by our back for a second. With your forehead still on the floor, can you just pinch those shoulder blades together so that your arms float up, like you're trying to flap your wings without using your arms. How's your Pilates scoop? How's your 12 o'clock? Okay, arms forward, legs together, pelvic floor, Pilates scoop, 12 o'clock pelvis. I'm going to pull my chin into my chest to lift my head off the floor. Then my shoulders come up, and then my chest comes up, and my arm just barely leaves the floor, 1 inch, goes back down. I lower my shoulders, I lower my head, my forehead goes back on the floor. And we're going to come up. 2, 3, 4, and down. 2, 3. Keep going and up. 2, 3, 4. And you'll notice that as we do this slow, specific articulation of the upper back, that it's going to cause us most likely to start to weaken through our lower back, through our Pilates scoop and 12 o'clock. So keep resetting your Pilates scoop and your 12 o'clock pelvis as you go here. 2, 4. Try not to push your belly into the mat to help yourself up. Good. Take those hands back to your ribs. Press yourself up. Halfway down. Press it up. And here we go. We're elbow and elbow and hand and hand. Now, if your shoulders say this is not for you, don't worry about it. Maybe just walk your hands if that works for you. And if you've had a shoulder injury, this one can be rough. Good, press it back. Curve your body up and forward. And we're gonna come onto our sides for side kick series. So I'm gonna place my ribs down on the floor, and I'm gonna bring my feet all the way to the front of the mat. So most of you probably have like a regular size yoga mat. Think about your front shin and knee both being at the front edge of the mat. Yeah, instead of tucking in or swinging back. You want to be all the way up here. So you have a right angle behind your knees and behind your hips. And that'll help you to brace against the floor as we do our side kick series. So we're going to do today, top leg rotates up and closes all the way back down. Drop your leg all the way back, knees aligned. Yes? We're going to put our hand on our hip to start today because I don't want you to rock those hips at all. Scoop, shoulders down, pelvic floor, open, close. It's going to be a little smaller than we want because we're not using our hip at all, yeah? All right, open, both legs. We're going to extend those legs, yeah? If I point straight down my body, head, shoulders, ribs, hips, if I were standing up, my legs would be going out here, but instead they're forward at like a 45-degree angle. Close them to parallel, rotate them out, knees point forward, knees point apart, bend back, extend, tuck your bottom foot, turned out, parallel, turned out, and bent, two, try and pull your pelvic floor and scoop in, out, and close, and open, and in, two, we're gonna stay out. I'm pressing into that bottom leg, lifting my top leg. Forward, together, forward, together, forward, together, forward, together, forward, together, forward, together, to the back, together, back, together, back, together, back, together, back, bend it, Open it up to the side. Bend it. No weight in the toe, but it's right next to the other knee, and we're going to close. And open. And close. And open. And close. And open. And close. Grab a handful of marshmallows and tap out any lactic acid that's gathering in the side of your hip. And then we're going to switch sides. Pelvic floor up, belly in, knees forward, top leg alone. Both legs. Open and extend. Find that place, about 45-degree angle, so it's not straight down with your torso, it's not out in front of your hip socket. And lift that leg. Parallel, turn it out, bend it, extend it, parallel, hold your turnout as you bend it, hold your turnout, extend it, and parallel, turned out, bend it, extend it, parallel, stay turned out, open, close, front, close, front, close, front, close, front, close, front, close, take it to the back, back. Good, good. Take it up and bend it. Hips stay still and close. Open and close and open and close and open and close and open. Close it down and tap it out. Last set of these, back on your bellies. We're going to be up on our elbows here, like the Sphinx. Yes, elbows directly underneath your shoulders, pressing through your arms. Lift your pelvic floor, lift your Pilates scoop, and come to 12 o'clock. So instead of my belly being on the floor, my belly is off, but my thighs are on, and my pubic bone is touching. Legs together, I'm going to bend, 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 bend. Press your heart forward, proud. 2, 3, and switch your leg in. 3, 2, 1. One more, and switch, and 4. Good. Take your hands down low. Straight leg lift. Both hips need to stay on the ground the whole time. So pelvic floor up, Pilates scoop in. Nice long lower back. Hips are grounded. Leg lifts with straight legs. Straight. Switch sides. Switch sides. Switch sides. My legs tend to want to fan out to the side when I lift and I think I'm going straight up. So I'm really thinking about bringing them up and into that center line. So my inner thigh is thinking about coming up into the center line. Good, good. Tuck your toes. Hands back by the ribs, elbows in, shoulders back. Head, neck, and shoulders rise up. Press up and back into a downward dog stretch. Nice deep work through those calves. Lovely. Go ahead and bend one leg and then let your hips tip over to the other side. So you're stretching out the outside of the hip. And switch. Good. Soft knees as you walk it into the center. Let your head, neck, and shoulders drape. You do not have to have straight legs for this stretch. It's actually more effective to keep your knees slightly bent so you're feeling the stretch in the center of the thighs instead of behind your knees or right behind your butt. All right, bend those knees deeply, dropping your hips back down behind you and touch the floor, letting your calves and feet stretch in a squat. Thighs are together. Gently drop those heels and stand back up. Big breath in. Roll your shoulder back and reach over the top. Open your back. And other arm over the top. Letting the side body here stretch. Open it up to your top. Taking your hands together behind you, we're going to try and open and stretch those arms back. Really get your shoulders back as we do this, and then we're going to reach our heads away. And notice whether you might be doing this stretch with your chin poked forward. Instead, I'd like you to draw your chin in. We're going to talk about chin poke next week, I believe, and how to have a nice, long, relaxed neck, because it takes some reaccustomation to get out of our habit of tension and slouching in the neck. Go ahead and press your shoulders around. Drop your head through the center. Roll it up. Yeah. And lift your ear up and over to the opposite side. Find that length in the neck. Shake it out. Last stretch is going to be just a nice, normal butterfly stretch. Letting your thighs go down, opening up those hip sockets, dropping your waist forward. So if you're really in here tight and it feels like your chest is bending but your back is still falling backwards, slide those feet way out so that you can come in front of your sits bones, and that'll really let your hips get the stretch rather than your upper back, yeah? And that's it for today, you guys. Popping out a bit early for my meeting. Thank you for joining me. And you got some time to catch up on uploading your assignments for the weekend. Hopefully I will see you again next week. Thank you, Savannah. Thank you, Christine. Thank you, Carol. Have a great one.